how would you describe this odyssey of yours, going back 20 years ago when you were at LSU to being a head coach in Colorado, and obviously now the head coach of Michigan State?
Yeah, I've been very blessed and very fortunate. I've had some outstanding opportunities. I've worked with a lot of great coaches, a lot of great players, worked for a lot of great coaches, and I've just tried to work really hard, pay attention, take advantage of the opportunities that were presented to me, and things have worked out for me so far.
They have indeed. Coach, this time of the year, those of us in the media love to speculate. We really have no earthly idea what we're talking about, though. But you do, because you're on the practice field with your staff and your players. When you've been there a week or so, getting ready to make the turn toward the final couple of weeks. So what is going through your mind on a day-to-day basis, and how do you calculate how much progress you've made and what you need to do before that first game on September 2nd?
Yeah, that's a great question. Early in camp, we're really, just focused on ourselves, how we can, get better each and every day, raise our level of intensity, keep stacking, one great day of practice, after the next. And then as we get closer, to the season beginning, and then we really start to hone in on our opponent. We're not at that point yet. We have our first scrimmage coming up this Saturday. That's going to be our first time really seeing our guys, live, scrimmage to the ground, offense, defense, and special teams. And so we'll have a much better indication of who we have, what we have, what our guys can do best, when they're playing fast and when it's live. And at that point, we'll start to hone in a little bit more in terms of our depth charts and seeing who the guys are that we feel like are going to give us the best chance. And then as we get closer to the game, we'll really start to hone in on our game planning for Western Michigan, and just really zeroing in on them. But right now, it's really about technique, fundamentals, playing smart, playing fast, playing physical. Make sure that we understand our scheme. Team chemistry is extremely important. Peer accountability is something we've been harping on, but just the overall relentless nature, of our program and our culture, just really making sure that our players understand that this decision has already been made to be the best football team that we can be, and it's a process that we have to hammer each and every day.
Talking to Coach Mel Tucker, Coach, I know you're focused on this year, but if I could ask one thing about last year, I mean, you had that huge win over your cross-state rival. The speculation about your future, I would think became almost unbearable right in the middle of the season. How did you deal with that while trying to get ready for the week-to-week schedule in the Big Ten, which was pretty difficult considering the stature of that league, where everyone had you going everywhere, but where you ended up staying?
Well, it was just keep the main thing. Michigan State has always been my dream job. This is where I started my career. Coach Saban gave me an opportunity in 1997 to be a graduate assistant for him, for 97 to 98. And, this is home for me in that regard. And so, when I walked in the door here, February 12th, 2020, I was home. And this is where I wanted to be. And so it was easy for me to focus on Michigan State and the task at hand. It was easy for me to keep my team focused because nothing changed for us inside the building. And I always talk to our players about making sure that the voices inside the building are louder than the voices outside of the building. So we stayed neutral in our thinking, always deciding to what was the best next step to take in our preparation, and we stayed focused and continue to press on.
Coach, you mentioned Nick Saban, and I'm sure no matter what you do and have done, you mentioned the beginning of your coaching career with him, and you were with him a couple of other times as well. I know you can't really think about him any longer on a day-to-day basis, but you are attached to him just like you are with Kirby Smart and others. When you think about Nick Saban and think about his longevity, what can you say in relation to his beginning as a head coach, where you saw him at Michigan State, to what he's accomplished since?
From the moment I met Coach Saban, when he recruited me, when he was head coach at Toledo, my senior year in high school, I knew that he was a great coach. I knew that he was a special coach. I knew that he was a rare individual, and so it was just an honor for me to actually coach for him, to work under him, here at Michigan State, and LSU and Alabama. He laid the foundation for me as a coach. He was a mentor to me and still is to this day, and so his longevity is not a surprise to me. As you know, he's relentless in everything that he does. From A to Z, every aspect of the organization. Including recruiting. X's and O's, offense, defense, special teams. He's what you would call a master coach. Every aspect of what it means to be an outstanding football coach. He epitomizes every aspect, and he's the gold standard. And so I'm not surprised at anything that he's done or anything that he will do here in the future.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.